Hello everyone, you're welcome and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. In today's video, we'll be learning how to cut a 3-step skirt for a baby girl of 2 to 3 years. So if this is what you like to learn, let's get right to the video. So for this tutorial, I'll be needing 2 different types of fabric, Ankara fabric and a satin for the underlay. So let's start cutting. So I'm making this skirt for a baby, for a 2-year-old baby. Please don't mind the squeezed fabric. I've used it before and you can see that it's not even looking straight. So I'll just find the perfect position to fold. So the length of the skirt is 18 inches. But instead of the 18 inches, I'm going to use 16 inches because I'm going to attach a 2-inch elastic band to it. So I'll minus the 2 inches from it. So I'm imputing 16 inches plus half of an inch, which makes it 16.5. So for the wideness, the hip is 22 inches. 22 inches divided by 4 is 5.5 inches. So I'm going to impute 5.5 inches twice. That is 11 inches. So I'm going to have 11 inches at the down part of the skirt. So I'll just remeasure the length again, which is 16.5. Then I'll cut it out. After cutting the front part, we'll fold the fabric and cut out the back part. We are cutting it exactly. There is no zipper allowance. So this is the back part. It wasn't enough, so I had to join, but there's no light at the moment, so I haven't joined it. So I'm just going to keep it aside. Whenever the electricity is restored, I'll join it. But let's work on the front, because what we are doing for the front is exactly the same thing we are still going to do for the back. No zipper allowance, just elastic at the waist. So let's impute our measurement. We are making use of the hip in replacement of the waist measurement because of the elastic we are going to add. So the hip is 22 inches. Divide by 4, we have 5.5 inches. I added 1 inch allowance for ease. Then I added another 1 inch for sewing allowance. So I have 7.5 inches in total. So I'll just use a ruler and connect it down to the hem, giving it a A-line kind of shape. Yes. So I'll cut it out. Remember I said earlier, whatever we are doing in the front is what we are going to do for the back, exactly the same. So I'll open it up and this is how it looks like. You can see the A-line shape. So the next thing we are going to do now is to measure our length, which is 16.5 inch. Then I'll divide it by 3 because we are having 3 steps. So I'm going to divide 16.5 by 3. So I got 5.3 inches. That is 16.5 divided by 3. But I'm going to use 5 inch instead of the 5.3 inches. So what I'm going to do now, I want to divide the fabric now into 3 parts by measuring 5 inches upwards, then another 5 inches downwards. You can see it's in 3 parts now. So I'll use a ruler to connect a straight line, then I'll show you how it looks like. So this is how it looks like. So the first step will be at the beginning of the fabric, the second step will be there, then the third step will be there. So now I'll measure the waist of each step. So for the first step is 15 inches. The second one is 17.5 inches. 17.5 inches, while the third one is 19.5 inches. You can see 19.5 inches. So I'll keep that aside and work on the Ankara fabric. So the pink one is going to be the first one, the purple one will be the second, then the pink one will be the third. So for the first step, remember the waist is 15 inches. Please, you can go back to the measurement. I put it on the screen. The waist is 15 inches. So what I'm going to do now, I'll multiply 15 inches by 2, which gives me 30 inches. Then I'll add 5, which is 35 inches. I have enough fabric, that's why I added the extra 5 inches to make it 35 inches. If you are working with a lesser fabric, you can just leave it at that 30 inches like so. But the length is going to be 5 inches. The length is going to be 5 inches. All the length are going to be 5 inches, but the difference is just the waist. So I'll cut out the first one, then we'll go to the second one. For the second one, remember the waist is 17.5. So I'm going to multiply it by 2, which gives me 35 inches. Then I will add 5 inches to the 35 inches, which gives me 40 inches. So the waist of the second step is going to be 40 inches, while the length remains 5 inches. So for the third step, we are repeating the same step for the third step. The waist, which is 19.5, multiply by 2, which gave me 39 inches, then plus 5 inches, which gave me 44 inches. Then the length remains 5 inches, then I'll cut it out. Remember, we are cutting for both the front and the back, so I'm cutting 2 of it for all the steps. So I'm just confirming the waist measurements here if they are accurate. So, and this is on fold, oh, don't get confused, this is on fold. And also I cut out 2 of the steps. You can see 2 of it, both for the front and for the back. Remember, I said earlier what we are doing for the front is exactly the same thing we are going to do for the back. And we have come to the end of the cutting aspect. Click on the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet, and also give me a thumbs up. And also please make sure you watch paid ads on my video. Please try and be watching ads on my video. It means so much to me. Yeah, welcome back. So in this video we'll be looking at how to sew this skirt. If you have not watched the cutting video, please go back to my last video to watch how I did it. So this is the first step. The second step is going to be the purple fabric, and this is the third one. So I'll show you how I'm going to sew it. So I'll pin it down. After pinning it down, I'll go to the sewing machine and sew it. I have finished pinning them down. This is how it looks like. And I went ahead to sew it. I finished sewing it here. This is both the front and the back. Remember, I said while cutting that whatever we are going to do for the front is exactly the same thing we are going to do for the back. If you have not watched the cutting video of this tutorial, please go back to my last video to watch it. This is the outer part and this is the inner part. So before joining the front and the back together, the fabric, I'll join it together with the underlay so it can relax. You can see. I'll just join it with 1/4 inch. I'll do the same for both the front and the back. Then after that, I'll join the two together with 1 inch, like so, and the other side. And I'll show you how it looks like. You can see how it looks like, and we are almost done with this skirt. The next thing is to add the elastic band to the waist, and we are almost done. This is how it's looking for now. So the material, the Ankara fabric, is not relaxing, but I'm going to iron it so it can relax. So for the elastic band, I'll measure the waist of the skirt, which is 13 inches. That is, I have 26 inches in total. Then I'll bring the fabric that I want to use for the band. I'll cut out the length is going to be 4 inches. On fold, I'll have 2 inches. Then the breadth is going to be 26 inches in total. Meanwhile, I added extra ½ inch to stitch the band together. So this is the material I'm going to use for the band. I already cut it out. Then I'll stitch with ½ inch to close it. And this is how it looks like. So for the elastic, I've already cut out the amount of elastic I'll be needing for the waist. I'll join it together as well with ½ inch. I'll make sure you tack it properly so it's not going to lose. Then I'll stitch on top again, so I'll be sure that the elastic is joined together perfectly. So I'm going to put the elastic inside the fabric like the way I did it. Then I'll sew with just ½ inch. I'll sew it all around. And this is how the elastic, the waistband looks like. So the next thing we are going to do now is to attach it to the skirt. So I'm just going to sew with just half of an inch, and after that we are done with the skirt. And this is how the skirt looks like. This is the inner part. You can see where we joined at the waist, and this is how the skirt looks like. You can see how beautiful it is looking. So if you find this video helpful, make sure you give me a thumbs up, share my videos, and also make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you haven't watched the cutting, please go back to my last video to watch the cutting so you understand what I did in this video better. Thank you so much for watching till the end. See you in my next tutorial. Bye.